Hey, I want to invite you guys, if you've been listening to this podcast and enjoying this content and are passionate about protection, you should know that we have an entire library of all of the protector symposiums that we've ever done, hosted at protectornation.com. You can go there and you can download those and you can watch every protector symposium we've had to date there online, and you can learn protection tactics from some of the most elite trainers in the world from the comfort of your own home. I think you'll be surprised about how much content we actually have there. It's very, very, very reasonably priced, and you can upgrade your protection skills. Remember, protection is not all about the hard skills. 90% of it is all about the software, the programming, the way you see and move in the world to achieve a safer pattern of life. With that having been said, go to protectornation.com, join us there, and learn from the best of the best. Now, enjoy the show. Boom! What's going on, you guys? Here we are for another podcast. I've got an honored guest as always. You know, I do these with people that I love and people that I know will bring you value and contribute heavily. And I had the honor of meeting Sid Gordon, it's been a few years ago now, at a Roger Up event. And I was genuinely blown away at what him and his company are doing to help people optimize their bodies and really live the best lives that they can, the lives they're intended to live, through telemedicine. And so, as this is a podcast about protectors and protection, the reality is there's a war that's been going on against us. Whether it's, on purpose or not, it doesn't matter. The reality is there are so many things acting upon your body at every given moment, every single day, that you need to figure out how you can protect and optimize your physical body. So that's what we're going to talk about today with the CEO of the largest and best telemedicine organization in the nation, and a dude that I really respect and have come to love over the last few years, Sid Gordon. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? Thanks so much for having me on, dude. It's an honor back at you. And, we are at a war, and we're at a war in multiple different ways.
Yep.
There's a war that gets put into our food. There's a war against masculinity.
Yep.
And, I'm on the front lines of fighting both big into that battle. When I met you, you're the type of guy that everyone's instantly attracted to, and it's an amazing attribute to carry. My whole team cares, a lot about you. You've dove in head first, and, your message is very close to the one that we try to portray on a daily basis. And, letting people know that a man needs to be a man, a man needs to be a healthy man, a man needs to have aggression, a man needs to have love. And, you deliver that same message in a different way, but it all comes back full circle. So thanks again for having me on.
No, man, it's such an honor. Thanks so much for saying those things. It really means a lot, man. I mean, what we represent in the world is everything. And that's been something I've really been focusing on this last few years. And it's very delicate because representing these things in today's world with the algorithms and whatnot, it's difficult, because you're swimming upstream, man. So I'm in this fight, dude.
So when I heard you speak at the Roger Up event, I've always had the same morals as you about how a man should run a household, how a man should treat a woman, where the unity should be, where the separation should be. Yeah. But I've never had the ability to really verbalize it. And by hearing you just come out full throttle on it, it really made me feel like it was okay. And I have to tell you that I've had a lot of people say the same thing to me now.
Yeah.
And I think it's because now it's just like not okay to say that like a man should be running a household.
Right.
And that just can't be any man. That has to be a good man.
Yep.
Right. So there's a big difference there. A man that's, not treating his family right and, constantly selfish and doing the wrong things. All right. Guess what? You lose that privilege.
Yep.
But a man like Byron, Mel, Nick K, Cody, the people that I'm surrounded by, those men, they run their household, and it's not even really an authority thing. It's just, it's a thing that makes it best for everybody, safe for everybody, fun for everybody, and loving for everybody.
Yeah.
And so that's been a big lesson that I'm very grateful for from you. So thanks, Byron.
Dude, that means a lot, man. It means the whole world, dude. And honestly, to touch on that and clarify too, like absolutely, they should look at you. The people, I said this on my stuff this morning on Instagram. It's like the people attached to you should look at you and they should be almost in awe. They should be so honored that you're their champion. Like, thank God Byron's my boss, my husband, my coworker, in this tribe. You should be the champion. Like, they should look at you and be like, I couldn't do what he does. Like, you're supposed to be like, it's an honor to follow this dude, because you're respectable, right? You're righteous, you're in right standing. You're able to be out front and do all the things you ask him to do. And so it should be a no-brainer, really. And so you don't have to leverage your position in your office or that you're a dude or what. You shouldn't have to leverage any of that. It should be totally organic. They should be like, yeah, how can I serve? How can I help? Because your strength and intelligence and everything you bring to the game is service-centric. They know that everything you are is just designed to contribute to them and protect them and provide. And then it's a very organic thing. But
my business mentor tells me, Sid, every day you go to work, make people want to please you, not fear you.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
and lead in good direction. Now, I mean, it's no secret. What I love about having you and the other strategic partners like all together is that it's like a bunch of like there's a shitload of testosterone floating around. It's like savage, but like everybody's like, everyone super respects everyone else's like dynamic.
Yeah,
it's not too like okay. So let's just put it this way: 20 years ago, if the same dudes that were all in that room, a month ago got together at some bar, it'd be quite the fist fight, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit of a thing.
Someone would get flattened, 100%. But
I mean, I'd be in the biggest trouble out of that group. But like, it's funny. Now everyone's just like all about, hey man, what are you doing? Like, how can we help each other? We all have our own businesses. We all work together. It's unbelievable, dude. It's like, I couldn't ask for anything more amazing.
100%. And it's super healthy masculinity. It's super, super confident, healthy, relaxed masculinity, man. You know what I mean? And that's when like a man's really arrived is he's relaxed. He's not threatened by anyone. He's there to contribute. He's there to link shields, make sure his portion of the phalanx is secure and he's contributing. And those are the groups, man. And that's the one thing that I've noticed about you is you're surrounded by some amazing people. And also the people that follow you are all in. Like these dudes are they're building a corporation, but like I wouldn't doubt you guys if someone to throw down if you needed to, man. It's a wolf pack. And that says a lot about leadership. Attitude reflects leadership, man. You want to learn a man? One of the smartest things a client ever did with me when I was auditioning for a job. And then we'll get into this stuff. But one of the smartest thing a client ever did to me is he had me do an audition with my wife. So me and another agent applied for a position to take, to serve him. And he had us go on a dinner with our wives. And he just sat there and watched the dynamic, man. And he watched how we operated, how we treated our wives, how our wives respected us, how we were able to manage keeping an eye on him and how we moved through the environment. And by the grace of God, I definitely won that. But you can tell a lot about people, how the way that those people they're designed to lead actually honor them. And I saw a lot of honor, man. And just a group of dudes that I could take over a city with, and that's huge.
Yeah. The going joke in the office amongst the guys that are much younger than me, but amazing here core. Hey, Sid, you're way too old to fight, bro. Just let me do it. You can't embarrass the company and lose.
And everyone's
it's so funny. Dude, those days are over for me. Yeah, but Brandon loves to bust my balls about it because you can't even sprint. You can't even sprint anymore, dude.
You're pretty all right. All the hunting and stuff you do. Core Medical Group. Real quick synopsis, you guys, we're going to get into who they are, what they do, but I want you to stick around to hear some of the stories about who they've helped and how they've been able to help people, so you can identify what this company can do for you. Sid Gordon is an amazing human. He's surrounded by some amazing people. There's no one I trust more. One of the reasons that I got connected with these guys is because guys would come through my training. They would come out and they would whip it on at the hard skills intensive or the immersion course, or they want to get into the executive protection industry. when we would get done with training and I'd know their hearts, I'd know these are great people. But the reality of the situation was, you know, you gotta, in order to be a professional protector, you've got to be physically potent. You've got to be able to physically outperform another human being. Now, the reality is protection is just simply, it's one of the things you need in life. So this doesn't just extend to professional protectors, but this is just the reality of life, is that your life will be better if you're fit. If you're fit, you don't even have to be pretty. You're fit. It takes a lot. It takes care. It puts you in a different class. Your business will be better. Your relationships will be better. Your performance in every area of your life, statistically, if you study this, your life will be more optimized and better. People will take you more seriously. And so really optimizing our physical bodies is something that is really huge for me, and making sure that the people connected to this brand are positioned for success. So we're going to get into how they do that. We're going to hear some stories about how they've helped people. But real quick, Sid, man, one of my favorite questions, who's the man behind the work? Like, who are you at your core? Like, who's Sidney Gordon?
So that's a hard question. I've had to do a lot of work around that, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I grew up in a suburb outside of Boston, Massachusetts. Grew up in the poorest area in my town. Didn't know I was poor. You know, had
poor you don't know you're poor. That's how I grew up, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, like, you guys don't eat government cheese like, you guys don't, like, am I the only one that doesn't need?
Well, the reason why I didn't know I was poor is because, you know, my dad had a rough go at life, you know, ended up committing suicide when I was 24. My mother was a school teacher at the same school for 36 years, and she'd work like 3 jobs to provide everything I needed for me. She's really turned me into the person I am today. She taught me hard work. You know, I landscaped, you know, I freaking ran heavy machinery. I freaking did the stupid shit that kids do to try to act cool. Leave that to your imagination. And you know, I was a professional skier when I was growing up. It was very difficult for me to keep up because of finances. And once my father took off, you know, I was pretty much a hood rat kid, you know, running around thinking I was someone that I wasn't, and got in some trouble and ended up having to move to Florida.
All of us are just one decision away from a jail cell, bro. I found the Marine Corps. That's the only reason I'm here, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know.
we were one fist fight or one situation away from being felons, man. I'm convinced.
Yeah, for sure. Multiple times, you know, and so I moved to Florida. At the time I was riding motorcycles, starting riding bikes, worked at this place called Delray Power Sports. Life was in shambles, just not on point at all. But I was a very good salesman. And one day I was in there, and this guy comes in to service his bike. I sell him a brand new motorcycle. Instead of him servicing his bike, he comes back an hour later in a 430 Ferrari and says, "Get in, kid, you don't work here anymore." And he actually taught me the mortgage business. His name was Tim Malloy. Taught me the whole mortgage business. Ended up opening my own firm. Made a lot of money. That was a crash and burn. And for that point, I decided one day when I was at my rock bottom, making 6 figures and couldn't pay my taxes, decided to go into this mode that I called hibernation mode. 24 years ago, we didn't have this internet self-help, you know, Nick K mentor, ByronRodgers mentor, Mel Chancey mentor. It was straight hibernation mode. Like, I'm going to get this shit. I'm going to watch every movie in Blockbuster. I'm going to run 2 miles when I get out of work. I'm going to exhaust myself, go to bed. And I'm going to do that until, like, I have so much fucking money, it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm still pretty much doing the same thing.
Man. Oh, this is so good.
So we went into hibernation mode for about a decade. And when I say that, I mean, like, nothing mattered other than, like, my well-being, my clarity, my business, and biggest, most important thing of all was something I never did before, Byron. And that was doing everything I said I was going to do for another human being, or to help another human being. And that's really where everything catapulted in my life. Once I was comfortable, I had more than a negative number in my bank account, and I could, like, figure out a way to start to help others. That was my biggest trajectory in life, which I can talk about when I get into core. But, you know, then I was in the mortgage business for a while, was doing really well. Then that market crashed, and I rolled into a company called Debt One USA, which was a national company. Reinvented myself, and then realized that wasn't the type of business I wanted to be in. So I started to speak with a lot of people that I knew in the area. I earned a lot of respect over that decade because I was doing what I said I was going to do. I was showing up when I said I was going to show up. And a guy named Bill Falloon, who owns the largest supplementation company in the world, Life Extension, it's a magazine, said, Sid, the HRT business is going to blow up in the next 10 years. It's going to be really hard until then, but it's going to explode. Health and wellness is going to be very important. And he actually let me speak with his doctors and helped me set the whole business up. And 15 years ago, this December, Core Medical started. So that's where we are today. And we started with 0 patients. Now we're about 15,000 in 43 states. And now I'm no longer a salesman. I'm an educator. Yes. I don't care if you use us. I just want you to use somebody. Right. And it's been the ride. We went from 3 employees to almost 100 here. It's been amazing.
I love it, man. That's inspirational, bro. There's so much that I think people listening can take from that. And especially for the men, dude, I think mission first is huge. Like, the Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Like, you seek first the kingdom. That's your mission. That's what you're here to do, right? To make that a more like secular lesson. Like, you need to be optimized. Your mission, your focus. Like, I'll say it the way that some of the homies said it: first get the money, then get the rest of it, then get the, But like, really, as a man, if you build the kingdom, you build your kingdom and you build yourself, all these other things are byproducts. Then you get to pick the female when you're ready. Then you get to help people. Then you get to contribute. You get to be able. It's such an honor to be able to contribute. I love that when you said that. One of my goals was just to be able to help people. When you become contribution centric, you become dangerous. I ain't never been that cool or jacked and tan. I'm not a Navy SEAL or whatever. But I just was like, how can little old Byron make a difference? I'm going to focus on giving people massive amounts of value. And to the tune of a few $1,000s a month, I'm publishing 1 to 2 free content videos, just educating and giving people value. And you will always be reciprocated. The world will reciprocate you in proportion to the value you give it.
100%. I mean, with the small things that I was taught, like one really great example is like, when you go somewhere and you see a valet guy that you can just tell is struggling, or a waiter or waitress that's just in a bad spot, instead of giving them that 20% tip, give them 100% tip, man. If it ain't going to change your life, at least they know that they were valued for a second. When you see someone down the dumps, hey, hello, how's your day going? And mean it. Like, the smallest things like that can change a person's trajectory from that day and even moving forward. Yeah. I use a lot of analogy around bullying. I'm a big advocate of anti-bullying type of guy, because, don't get me wrong, I've been bullied, I've bullied, but I know how terrible it is. And when you see these kids, number one, I feel like the whole transgender thing going on in schools is a bullying standpoint. Yeah. We don't have to get into all that, but kids are trying to fit in and they don't have a place to fit in because they're bullied. They go in that direction. Mm-hmm. Or they're bullied and they just get like hid in these shadows, and they can't socialize. And guess what? When you set that tone at 9, 10, 12 years old, that's the direction they follow their entire life. They're antisocial from maybe things that happened to them early on in life. And, people need to think about that. They need to teach their kids, hey, if there's a kid being picked on, stand up for that kid. And, those are the type of things that have been super important to me, especially as a dad now of 3 kids. Mm-hmm. And, making sure that, if you have the ability to help somebody, that you take advantage of that, because I would not be where I am today if I didn't put other people first.
Yep. 100%. And that is the best way to live. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the key, man. So real quick for people, what exactly does Core do?
Okay, so we start off with Core again 15 plus years ago, or minus a couple of weeks here. And we started off as a hormone replacement therapy clinic in Delray Beach with 0 patients. Now we've grown tremendously. We've entered into a lot of different arenas. When we first started, it was basic TRT. My timing was impeccable, just like Bill said. When I first started, everybody who owned an HRT clinic was doing it the wrong way, illegally. It was a sushi menu. You checked off what you wanted, and they sent you your controlled substances. It might as well have been black market. And then what happened was all those people who own those HRT clinics also own these pain mills all over South Florida. So they would have a pain clinic and HRT clinic because everyone's test is just hammered. They'd give them their test. Well, long story, but it was a vicious cycle. When they came in and did the wipe of all the pain clinics, it wiped out all the HRT clinics. And I was legitimately the last one standing that was doing things right. We didn't own a pain clinic, obviously. Our doctors were really doing the recommendations. And from 1 month to the next, we just blew up. And Core Medical's focus now is really overall health. We do very extensive blood work. It's a 26 to 28 panel poll, more blood than you've ever seen. We have onboarding specialists that explain the process when you come aboard. You get your blood requisition, that gets done. You get your waivers, you complete those, and then you do a telemedicine visit with one of our 13 NPs or PAs or one of our 3 doctors. Your protocol comes back, and we can treat in 43 states. We take our legal side of this business very seriously. We do prescribe controlled substances, testosterone. We don't prescribe any more than 200 milligrams, guys. So if you're looking for a bunch of tests, I'm not the guy. But the difference between brand testosterone and black market testosterone is vast. You're getting in a 200 milligram vial, 200 milligrams of brand testosterone with us. You don't know what you're getting in your black market vial. And for those people out there buying black market, all that raw material comes from China. All that raw material comes from the same exact labs they make fentanyl in. That raw material comes to the United States from China. So right now, fentanyl is a way bigger ticket item than testosterone. So 90% of the testosterone that's coming into the United States is tren. That raw material is tren. It's not cypionate, ananthate, or propionate. So
tren will give you problems if you ain't running a tren. Tren can get spicy if you don't know what you're doing.
Yep. So those of you out there on black market get your testosterone checked. You'll be able to tell real simple your test will be below 150, and that's a suppression, the precursor of the testosterone that you think you're getting versus the fact that you're not. And that trend actually suppresses your test levels.
Yep.
But it makes you feel like you want to, eat the sofa and sleep with everything that moves and fight everyone that can talk, but not the best drug.
Yeah.
But the real difference is like people come to us and say all the time, I don't know if I want to take steroids. Well, guess what? We don't want you to take steroids either.
Right.
This is a bioidentical testosterone that we prescribe. Then we prescribe your supporting meds, your estrogen blocker, which is very important because if you go estrogen dominant from the conversion of testosterone, being estrogen dominant is worse than being testosterone insufficient. So we want you to stay really optimal, those levels up. We also give you other supporting stuff to make sure that your testicles continue producing natural testosterone so you don't shut that light off. And then an array of peptides, ED drugs, amino acids and proteins that are just huge, for immune system, overall cognizance and things like that, Byron.
Yep, 100%. No, man, I'm running stuff. I love it. So you're saying with the test, so you're running stuff to make sure that your gonads or your balls are still actually firing. So in the event that you do come off the test replacement therapy, you still actually will be able to get your natural supply is still active.
Yeah, it's not going to go back up to where it was, but we don't put anyone on it that's ever going to be able to re-stimulate again. If you're above a 550, unless you have some contributing factors in medicine, which the doctors handle, you're basically a denial for TRT, but we would give you other protocols to stimulate your natural production. If you're below a 550 based on your age and your symptoms, then it's a conversation. If I have a guy who's 60 years old, his free testosterone, which is your reserve tank. So everyone's like, oh, my testosterone is 700. Well, what testosterone is that? It's not your free. Your total testosterone is your reserve tank. Think about an automobile that has a reserve tank and a gas tank. Your bioavailable testosterone, okay, you have your free and you have your total. Your total is your reserve. Your free is your gas tank. Your body works off that free. Your body says, I need testosterone. Your total then pushes it out. It binds to the proteins bind to the cell in your body, convert into your free testosterone. And then you have your energy, your sex drive, your motivation, your metabolism increase, all of those things. So if your total testosterone is 550 and your free is 10, where it should be about 37, and you're 55 years old, it's going to be real hard to get you to convert at that age.
Right.
But if you're 25, 30, there are things we can do with danazol, HCG, other medications to get your body to stimulate and increase your natural production. But we want everyone to know when you go on testosterone, it's a long-term thing, right? And if we don't need to put you on it, we won't put you on it. So that's a big thing here at Core Medical Group. We have a lot of people that have been on natural stimulants for a long period of time.
Heck yeah. No, 100%. And the thing is, like, especially for guys, veterans and guys that are highly active, man, this is a thing, and I think this has contributed to a lot of the suicides we've seen. Guys that are highly active, this is a very important thing. Like, whether you think you need it or not, you need to go and get your numbers looked at. Like, it almost should be mandatory.
Yeah, unfortunately, when you go to your GP, they run a CBC comp metabolic panel, right? And if that general practitioner ran your PSA, ran your testosterone, at least you have a baseline. I'll give you a great example. In the last 3 years, we found prostate cancer in over 45 men under the age of 45.
Scary, bro.
So that person wouldn't even have their PSA checked until they were 45 to 55. Because guess what? Your insurance doesn't cover it.
Right.
Our blood works anywhere between $249 to $399, depending on what we have to get done.
Yeah.
It's pennies based on saving your life,
Right.
And just getting that extensive blood work done, even if you're young and you want to get extensive blood work done, get it done every 24 months until you're 30, 33 years old, and then make it habitual, to get that really extensive package of overall blood analyzation like we do here at Core. Talking about suicide prevention with the vets. We haven't said this yet, but Core Medical is the largest HRT clinic in the veteran active duty arena in the United States due to people like you, Jason Redman, Nick Kay, Cody Alford. The list goes on and on about the strategic partners that we have. And it was a big eye-opener for me, Byron. Like, it was scary. So we've had hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people come aboard, and they come through the door and get a list of the medications they're on from the VA.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, why are you on 3 different things to sleep? Why are you on 2 different things to keep you up? Why are you on 3 different painkillers? Like, you're a mummy. You're just walking around, just going about life. Yeah. And my belief is, after running our statistics, we have a foundation, the Core Foundation. We pay for people that can't afford testosterone to go on it for a year. 90% of those people each year, their life changes and they can afford it themselves. 90%.
Yep.
I was seeing a lot of suicide inside the veteran community.
Yep.
And my take on it is this: you come back from active duty, you come back from anything, micro, major traumas, whatever it is, you come back into civilization. Now you're put back with your family, or you're put back inside civilization, have to work, but you're depressed. You no longer have that brotherhood. You get visceral fat, can't have sex, no motivation for sex, no energy, can't work out, can't throw a ball with your kid, don't have the emotional attachment to hold your wife's hand walking through a mall, whatever it might be. That's a massive trauma, an indirect massive trauma to a man or a woman. It's a massive trauma. Yeah. And then basically what happens from there is you get massively depressed, and then you get more and more depressed because of the drugs you're on. And guess what happens then? You put a freaking 9mm in your mouth and you end it. Well, I can tell you right now, the only thing that's needed in that situation, because they're testosterone deficient over 90% of the time, is a very low dose of testosterone. It changes it. And I have stories that would blow your mind of people. I think I told you one from my event one year.
Bro, it was almost dramatic to listen to, bro.
Dude, it was crazy. And I had to speak. This guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, I was paying someone to sleep with my wife, and I was in the room going to blow my brains out. And I got on your program, and this is my wife right here." And she's like, "Thank you," hugging me. And I'm sitting here like, "Oh my God, dude, you told me your parents, Intense, and he was suicidal, and it was crazy. I had to go on stage after. I'm like crying my eyes out. It was a freaking shit show. But I mean, those stories are really what make me work harder and harder each day. So I thank everyone for those.
Yeah, man. No, those are arrows in our quiver, man. Those are the motivation. You were talking. So we talked a lot about the masculine aspect of this and test replacement. Do females have a place at Core?
Yeah. So here's the thing, over the last 3 years, I'd say 3 out of every men that sign up, their wives sign up as well. It's really part of our family unit. You have a woman. So what happens a lot of times is you have a female that in most cases is younger than the male.
Yeah.
They still have sex drive, especially if you have a veteran that comes back from active duty or just being enlisted, or a man that is killing themselves at work every day comes home. That disconnect starts to happen, especially as their testosterone depletes.
Yeah.
Right. We only have so much energy. We only have so much time. And that, what we've seen is that when a man comes aboard and their testosterone now goes to an optimal 800, 700 level, now they're back. We just took a decade off of their life in a positive manner. Now they're 40. Now they're 30 again. That energy's back, and it supersedes the wife's expectations a lot of times.
Most of the time. Yeah.
So we're big advocates on making the wife part of the process and letting her know what's going to be going on. Our onboarding specialists spend a lot of time speaking with the male and female in the household, and making them understand what the changes are going to look like, and making them understand that there might be a little bit of ego involved in the beginning, but that passes. I like to call it the carrying suitcase phase, where you get in your first round of testosterone, like everyone knows because you're like, but we try to keep that down. Exactly. But it's a temporary thing. And a lot of times it doesn't even happen because of the way that we dial people in. But so a guy who's 40 years old, who's never taken testosterone before in their life, is going to have a little bit of a little bit of jump start to him, but it's temporary. But when the wife and husband do it together, because females have testosterone, their testosterone depletes too. They need testosterone, right? Just like, we need a little bit of estrogen so we don't have joint soreness, and not too much estrogen because then we're crying in commercials. But like, which has happened. I've been sitting around my boys. I'm like, bro, you taking your estrogen blocker? You're crying and we're watching Gladiator, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, so that's the type of stuff that we see a lot of. So we welcome it to be a family unit decision. And it's just, we see great results from that. The kids really enjoy it.
What about like women going through like menopause or anything like that? Can you guys balance things like that? Or
so actually we can stop, if not, or reverse the hot flashes, bring back a menstrual cycle. There's a lot of different ways we can do. We have specialists here that's what they focus on, depending on how severe their hot flashes are or their mood swings are. We have female NPs, PAs, and doctors here. Like, that's all they specialize in. So if that is something that you're going through or your wife is going through, you like to refer them to us, make sure that they're very upfront so that we know that that's an issue and they'll be placed with the correct practitioner at that time.
Outstanding, man. What would you say are some common, I know we kind of glazed over them, but for somebody listening, what are some common symptoms they might see in their life that should signal to them that they should give you guys a call and get some numbers, get their numbers looked at? So
I get asked the question quite a bit. And if you're going to be a man of direction, a man of growth, a man that sets the bar and the stage for your peers, you need to get your blood work done at the age of 25 and keep a good bearing of where that is, because what's going to happen is you're going to start to see your testosterone to deplete from the age of 25 to the age of 35. And a lot of people will be like, my workouts aren't as good. I got a little bit of fat around my stomach here. I'm tired. I don't want to have sex as much. I can't hold an erection. My brain doesn't function as fast as it did before. Yeah. And they'll just like chalk it up to like, I'm getting old, right? But when they see the numbers they see their numbers depleting, they have an answer. Hey, I went from 750 down to 540 in 24 months. Guess what, dude? You better get on a natural stimulation, or in a year from now, you're going to have to get on full-blown testosterone. So when you have those bearings, like, that's a very important piece. So it's a combination of both. We don't chase numbers here at Core. If your blood work says something, great, but we treat symptoms. That's real medicine. Symptomatic treatment is real medicine. Right. Back before blood work was done, how do you feel, man? And someone who is athletic enough, play team sports, have gone to the gym, even a brisk walk, they should know their body well enough to really understand when it's starting to go in the decline. Now, that couch potato out there, don't get me wrong. We've provided enough messages across multiple boards, whether it be social media or Google or videos or events or whatever that may be, to really transform a lot of couch potatoes, right? And that's the hardest case because they've never really had heavy motivation. But I do have some gentlemen and females that were 300 pounds now that are 190 that are in sick shape, and now they're warriors. You know what I mean? They're studs now. So it really comes down to the individual. How devoted are you to have the best, longest life for yourself and for your family? Awesome. And that's really what it comes down to for me, Byron. It's constant 1% better, constant 1% better.
100%, man. That's the game. And then you start stacking that. Then it takes on momentum. And then people are like, how did you get here? And you're like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we were laying bricks every mother freaking day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like, so you walk a mile in the woods, you got to walk a mile out, dude. That's it.
Yeah, bro.
And it's hard. People want that instant result. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you're eating Twinkies for fucking 20 years, bro. Like,
burn one Twinkie.
Just so you know, your body's never going to digest those Twinkies. When you die, they'll still be in your stomach, bro. But let's try to get to work.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, look, it's crazy. I use this analogy quite a bit. I went to my high school reunion like 5 years ago with my best friend, John Morris. I think you met John when you might have met John at that first event. John's son has stage 4 neuroblastoma. And that dude his son lived in the hospital. He's doing really well now, by the grace of God. And John had every excuse to not worry about himself. Every excuse. Living in the hospital, this, that, and the other. John went from 300 plus pounds down to like 270. Looks amazing. Like amazing.
Yeah.
And he's going through all that. And he has excuses. Legitimate excuses. We went to that reunion and people were like, holy shit, John, he looks better than he did when he was in high school. And I'm looking around. What's up, man? And I'm looking around going, geez, fuck, what happened? What happened? Don't get me wrong. What
happened to everyone else in the class, bro? I went to a Marine Corps reunion and I didn't even recognize some guys. We had to have a serious talk. Me and some of the boys was like, dude, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? Because your life, man. It's real.
Yeah, it's that stigma that's kind of out there. It's like, all right, get married, have kids, get a 9-to-5, get a retirement, go through life with no one knowing your existence, with no emotion towards others. Like, no, dude. Like Nick and Mel were like big time with me. Even Jason from the outside in. It's like, dude, celebrate your successes. Like, let people know that you've been successful so that they ask you how what you did. Right. And if you don't expose that, right, and you keep it inside of you, there's no way to help others. Yeah. And that's why it's like people are like, oh, dude, look at this douchebag on Instagram, like talking about how great he is. Well, guess what? The motherfucker's great.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a stud, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like, and listen, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of dudes we both know that are on Instagram that are just, I can think of a few that I'd love to name right now, Byron, but I'm not going to.
You've been around the block.
I'm working on, if I don't have something very nice to say, I'm not going to say anything at all. Yeah. There's a lot of great people out there that celebrate their successes. And those people are the ones that really have that following of a tribe, like you say, of transforming their lives. And, that's the beauty of our group. That's kind of that everyone has their own thing going on, but we all kind of come together with core when we can. And it's just great to see how amazing people's lives have transformed from the circle of people that are around me. And it's changed my life dramatically having them in place. And, there's a lot of gratitude there. So
again, let's talk peptides a little bit. I know when I went through, it's probably time for me to do some more blood work now, but my T levels were high. They were pretty good, but there was still some optimization that we could do, boost my natural T, run some peptides, which I love peptides. I've been running peptides for a while. I just did a testimonial, which I might bake into this as well as put out as a standalone. But my boy Morgan Harris, he came to us 300 pounds, went through the hard skills. I'm getting them, when people go through my EP school, I mentor them. I get them in the game. I make sure they're successful if they're good folks, and they usually are. And, we hit a point going through a client interview where the client was just like, I mean, I'd like guys that are a little more fit, and Mo talks about this publicly. And, I just told him straight up, like, hey, man, if you're going to play this game, you need to be more physically potent. Like, clients need to look at you and be like, I pay this guy 6 figures to protect my family, right? So he got with you guys and he was 300 plus pounds. And now he's hanging out with me down at like 230, totally way more optimized brain, mental acuity. He has a stutter and his stutter's even gotten better. Like people are taking me more seriously. I'm getting more work. My whole entire life has gotten better. He's like, I'm not done, but like I've dropped 70 pounds. I'm like a different, he's like, this has been amazing. So, what would you say about peptides, where they're going, capabilities for people who are curious about that as well?
So I saw that video. Mo looks amazing, dude. I mean, if it's the same dude I've seen in some of your other videos of like outside training, that referral, you should be happy that you sent to him that way because like, we all have the same size heart. We all got the same amount of heartbeats, you know what I mean? But when that heart has to push blood around to 300 plus pounds versus like 250, it's a big difference, man. And, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
Your ability to protect your image is very, very difficult to follow, right? So like those guys have something really good to look up to, which is kind of a very similar scenario that I have here at Core. I try to be like super high on my game so that there's no excuses internally. Right. Yep. So like
that's that masculine thing we were talking about right there. Everyone should look at Leonidas, look at the leader and be like, I got some work. It should be inspiring naturally to want to be like the guy that you're serving, supporting and fighting next to. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just not on like that physical level, but also on that, like their demeanor. Right. So like my demeanor was my hardest thing that I've really had to work on. I've had to just learn to apologize more often, put my tail between my legs sometimes, even if I'm wrong in being a business owner, sitting down and explaining to staff, my coworkers, what they did wrong instead of getting frustrated and upset. Because most of you guys out there probably don't know me, but I'm a little bit spastic and I tend to not slow down that much. Yeah. But, I have severe ADD and, when I was a kid, it was my biggest enemy. Now it's my biggest attribute because now I learned how to work with that ADD and I can freaking multitask 900 things. And people see me doing that shit. And dude's like, how the hell are you doing 17 things at once? I'm like, well, if I don't do 17 things at once, I can't do one thing at a time. So I've learned how to use it as a major attribute. So same here, bro. As far as going back to the peptides, man, the peptides are very important if you really need them. The two people that need them are the person that is trying to get that 1% more, and a high-end operator, whether it's in business or being athletic, however they, whatever that may be. The person who's just kind of going about life that just wants to be healthy and in shape, take a little bit of test. Okay. The other person that needs them is a guy that's really overweight. Let me tell you why. When we get overweight, our metabolism slows down, probably eating a lot before we go to bed. Those heavy drinkers that are drinking before they go to sleep, guys, no bueno, dude. That's a freaking death sentence right there. And the beauty of the peptides is that it's going to stimulate your natural production for cell regeneration. It's going to help you with your aches and pains. We have like a bunch of different peptides that are amazing, but each peptide serves a different purpose. For instance, your IGF-1, which is your cell regeneration stimulated by pituitary inside your body, we have peptides like Somorlin, Testosterone, which is an amazing peptide. We're going to be sending you some next. Your blood work would definitely indicate it. It's a newer peptide we have because we did lose some other peptides. The Somorlin, the Impamorlin, Testosterone basically is a secretagogue. And what that secretagogue does is it tells you when you stimulate your IGF-1 in your body, it takes it so your pituitary stays open longer and creates more flush of growth in your body, cell regeneration. We've all heard of growth hormone out there. Growth hormone tells your IGF-1, hey, listen, don't worry, I'm synthetic. I got it. I'm going to shut it down. I'm taking over. Boom. That's it, right? Sure. So the peptides are great because they're around 91 amino acids and proteins. Growth hormone is a lot more. And basically it allows your body to produce natural stimulation of IGF-1. It increases collagen in your body, there's some that increase your metabolism, help you burn fat, lose weight, curb appetite. The array is ongoing and vast. And we have one physician here who that's all he specializes in. He's fantastic at it. When he looks at your protocol, you'll have a very, very designated peptide that will suit your purpose if it's needed.
Right.
But it's a tailor-made protocol for each individual. Nothing is the same for everybody. Most clinics out there are here's your testosterone, here's your estrogen blocker, here's this, and see you later, call me in 10 to 20 weeks. This is we take this very serious here. And that's why we get serious results.
Heck yeah. No, I love it, man. And the thing is, guys might look at some of the like the price or the numbers, and I look at, sometimes it blows me away when they look at maybe the course for one of my programs, and they're like, oh, it's a couple $1,000s. And I'm like, you're going to get a career that's going to make you six figures doing something interesting, bro. People are going to school right now, going into debt for a few $100,000 to make less than you're going to make doing cool things around the world. When you look at the numbers around getting this type of support for your biology, think about the quality of life you're going to live when you're fit, when you're confident, when your brain is working as the way it was intended. And then also the amount of medical bills that you're going to avoid when you're actually not pre-diabetic and your body's able to run the way it's supposed to. Because, dude, we've all been getting poisoned this entire time with all the crap that's going on, man.
Something else that I want to spit off there, Byron, if you don't mind, is we've had hundreds of cases of men that have been first responders, that have been employees, that are miserable at their job, and I have success stories up the ass of, hey guys, hey man, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I didn't have the motivation, the energy, the drive, the confidence to do it, and they get on testosterone. And I have one person in particularly who was, before I could do what we do now, we have scholarship programs for people. We help people that we could tell really need this. Yeah. And I have one dude in particular who went from being a firefighter, and now he has 160 employees and pays for testosterone for everyone that needs it in his company. Oh. I mean, it's crazy, dude. The he's crushing life. We have car dealerships, the largest Porsche dealership in the country, that if you come aboard there after you sell a certain amount of cars, guess what? Part of your comp plan is if you need testosterone, we put you on it. Why? Because we ran a beta. I said, give me 10 of your top sales guys. I'm going to show you a 5% increase in sales, bro. Sure enough, he did it. He was like, holy shit, bro. I got a 7% increase in cars, and 7% on a Porsche is quite a lot of money. So bang, there's the money. So, and we've been doing business with that company now for over a decade, and it's a huge Porsche dealership. And it's fantastic to see that, confidence, being pretty on the eyes, being that guy that walks into a room and has that energy and stands out, are the small things that add up to big changes in life.
Big changes in life, man. That's the stuff that'll help you take those leaps that you've been thinking about that you haven't done, right? Thinking about waking up early and hitting the gym, thinking about launching that business, thinking about getting that side hustle, thinking about going after that girl. And these are the things that'll help you step in the ring and actually get it done. That's awesome, man. So I know there was some drama with the telemedicine industry last year. Any outlooks, any crystal ball?
Thanks to Core Medical's outreach, Lou Velos, ATF officer, former ATF guy, one of my dear friends, love him to death.
Yeah, Lou is on here. We have an episode with him, I think, coming up right after yours drops, man.
Bro, he's sick, dude. Yeah, I love Lou, man. He's
He's got that TV show out right now, right?
Yeah, he's got a lot going on, man. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Discovery Channel. He's doing fantastic. He's just an amazing, amazing guy. I called Mel, and he said, say, call Lou. I call Lou, and all of a sudden Lou had a fix. I'm not going to say the name of the company just because I don't really, but they're made up of former ATF, DEA, CIA, three-letter agency guys, and they started this major corporation and basically came in, did a full audit of the company. Telemedicine at that time was looking like it was going to go away.
Yeah.
They really couldn't just cash it because of it's better medicine, Byron. Telemedicine is better simply because when I do telemedicine with you, you're in your home, you're comfortable, you're more vulnerable. Everyone shows up to their visit. They're not sitting in a waiting room for an hour and 40 minutes prior to seeing a doctor frustrated. I got to get out of here. We're getting more information from them, and we can see 5 times the amount of people in one day.
Yep.
So other than the fact they can't touch you and take your blood pressure, we basically say, hey, make sure before the meeting you get your blood pressure, you print it out, we get to see it. You know what I mean? So that's all in their charts. We make every single person that comes aboard at Core do an annual physical with a general practitioner. It's a must. We must send them in there and send us a copy of that report so it's in your chart. Mm-hmm. So quite frankly, it's better medicine, right? So they figured that out, and they've extended telemedicine now. It looked at that point like it was going to get wiped out. We did get approved with the interstate medical licensing compact, which did allow us to operate in 23 states. Even if it did cash, we're the only clinic that really had that in the U.S. But the FDA, the DEA are just looking for ways to make things more difficult. I hate to say this,
medicine.
But because it puts a damper on big pharma and the amount of government money and the amount of money that they give back to the government and the vicious cycle that we all live in. And it's your job as a consumer and a patient to understand that process. I'm not going to explain it to you just because I don't really want a target on my back, but take the time to understand it. I'm blessed, man, because there are a lot of clinics out there that are doing the right thing, with a minimization of the peptides that are being taken away. They can't perform any longer. It's too much of their net revenue in order to be able to cover the staff. So it kind of stinks because there are some other really great clinics out there. There's also some that are not so great. We're here to, if there is a clinic that you want to walk into and you want to see someone face to face, DM this message, DM us, whatever. We'll find a great clinic for you in your area that's going to fit you properly. We have no problem doing a referral source here through Core Medical Group. We are educators now. We are not salesmen. So it's been great, with that standpoint. But as it stands now, my oh shit, do I have to reinvent myself again phase has not had to happen as of now.
Thank God.
I'm pretty sure it won't,
Yeah. Okay. That's good. I mean, if you guys are pulling veterans into your clinic, yanking them off all the zombie drugs that they put us on and helping people, I could see how certain other organizations might want to stop you from doing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big number.
Yeah, bruh. So, and let me not get too crazy, but it makes perfect sense, man. It's better medicine. And I love that.
We had one patient last month that was on 26 prescribed medications from the VA, and 11 of them were controlled substances.
Golly. See, that's that R. Kelly, they trying to kill me moment right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like to say excuses assholes, man. Do your research, and if you don't have the capability to do your research, reach out to us, and we have the research. We have the information. I have the data on first responders, veterans, transitioning from the Mr. T starter kit that is given to them by the VA into the, all right, here, let's just minimize this trauma and make your life a little bit more simple. But, at the same time, I just like to tell everyone that's listening out there is there's no commitment coming to board here. The only commitment I'd suggest is a commitment to yourself, and just get your blood work done, man. See where you're at. I mean, 99% of the time, you're probably going to be in great shape, and you might not need us right now, but we should have that baseline. And we're just here to help,
Heck yeah. No, I love it, man. What are you most excited about right now with Core?
Dude, what I'm most excited about with Core right now is that we are making just a huge impact. Like we've turned into this household name. Obviously, like I like to tell everyone this all the time. Like I wouldn't be on a podcast with ByronRodgers. It wouldn't be like have a strategic partner like Jason Redmond, Mel Chansey, Lou Velosi, Alan Baker, Nick Kumatis. Like I wouldn't have like these freaking dudes that are like celebrating Core Medical if we weren't doing the right thing. And that positive reinforcement to have like this greatness around me, like we do is just like such an amazing, surreal feeling, just because you don't always know if you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
You know when you're doing the wrong thing, right? Yeah. You know when you're doing the wrong thing, but you don't know if you're always doing the right thing to it. You don't even, but you don't always know.
Like you have to get to a place. Like there's these, eventually it's confirmed, but it's like the freaking Book of Eli movie. 90% of the journey, you're like, I just need to go west. This is what I believe I need to do. And I'm just hammering in this direction. And then eventually you hit these spots that are like, good job. And you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. That is the game.
Dude, like, here's a great one, like Vincent Rocco Vargas, man. Like he was one of our first strategic partners to come aboard, you know, and it's been amazing because, you know, he's been such a celebrity figure for Core. He's like one of the coolest cats around, dude. He just is just like such a loving, caring dude. It wasn't always like that, boys and girls, just so you know. You're getting the good Rocco now, like the fucking stud Rocco now. But man, and he's just like so important. Exactly, dude. He's like so important. You know, he really catapulted us inside the veteran community. I have a lot of gratitude for him. And like, dude, that dude, just like the rest of you guys, could go bang on anyone's door and be like, yeah, dude, I'm here. I'm going to drive traffic, pay me. And they're like, fuck yeah, I'm doing that. No problem. For me, it's like a lot of times it was like a joint thing. Hey, Byron, like to shoot the shit with you. Yeah, all right, maybe. And then it's the same thing with anyone in the military. You got to spend that 6 months kind of shooting the shit. Yeah. Before they're like, all right, this dude's cool, you know. And now that I have like that, now that we have the A squad of like these amazing, you know, dudes, it's like, all right, I trust you. I trust these guys' judgment. You know, there's 8 of them, bro. So like maybe you should, you know. And the process is a lot less painful now as it was before. But what's really cool is we all collaborate on all of our other businesses, and we help each other with all of our businesses, and we're like, it's just freaking awesome. That community, like I heard Patrick Beck David I listened to, and he had this dude on the other day, which I love, and he's like, do you know why Jews make so much money? It's because they make it together. Yeah. When one Jewish person makes money, 5 Jewish guys make money, and like that's really been the case. Kind of like we're all indirectly kind of helping each other along the way. Yep. And, you know, that brotherhood is important to me, and that mentorship that you guys provide is important to me. Cause like, you know, I learned a lot, you know, hanging around with you guys for a couple of days, and it's,
man, I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
So, which leads right perfect into my next question. And then we just got a few more and then we'll be done. This event you guys coming up, man, the Veteran Appreciation Situation, man, hit it real quick.
Yeah, dude. So it's my house in South Carolina. We have a bunch of guys coming in, yourself included, speaking. I don't know if you know this yet, but you're going to be teaching a handgun course for 3 hours one morning.
What's up?
So we have some 2 keynote speakers this year. We have Tim Matheson coming in, who was the SWAT officer that breached the door, Churchill, Pennsylvania, the Jewish synagogue. First man in, team didn't fall. He was shot 7 times and killed the perpetrator on his own in Pittsburgh. He's had 27 surgeries. Was recognized by Trump, and he's an amazing gentleman. His story's crazy. And we will be the first group to get the inside information on that. They finally have done all the intel and research, and he's going to be doing a presentation on why that happened and exactly who those people were. And we're going to get the first rip on that at the event. The other one is a gentleman named Stephen Murphy, who was involved in the takedown of Pablo Escobar on that roof. And he'll be telling the story of that. And then, you know, Byron's story. And we're going to have, we'll have Rocco up there, and, you know, Jason Redmond again, and a few other gentlemen speaking. But we do handgun courses, situational awareness, bleed, stop, blunt trauma. There's stuff for the kids all day, all night long. There's a huge auction. It's an amazing auction. We have a coyote hunt one evening. We do fishing on the dock. We do kayaking. We have Christians in Arms coming. We have a few other specific fabricators from handgun companies coming to do demo shoots, handgun courses, long range courses, and it is a blast for everybody. Archery, the whole 9 yards. This is our 3rd annual. We have 350 people there. It's very inexpensive. My foundation covers 90% of the cost for everyone. It's anywhere between $199 and $399, depending on what day you're coming, what day you're going, and everything is included for that price. So keep an eye out for that post. And yeah, man, I'm super pumped this year.
It's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to come. I can't wait to contribute. I can't wait to instruct. I'm just glad to be connected to such an amazing event and it's such an amazing group, man. This is going to be epic. You guys get your tickets. I can't wait to see you there. Heck yeah. Boom. Hardest lesson you've learned doing this work. Hardest lesson you've learned in the game, man.
I'd say in the beginning, putting the patient before the business.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of grooming that comes into place. I like to kind of explain it, you know, of the guy that likes to spend a lot of money, and then you learn how to kind of get more addicted to growing your bank account and not filling your life with these empty voids. Things, which is just, I've been there before. It's not pretty. I never want to go back to it again. Same thing, treating a person, like putting that person in a position, making sure that your efforts are in the direction of helping, not hurting. And from where I came from, that was a hard lesson to learn because I was a taker and now I'm a giver.
That's huge, man. That's so good. There's so much goodness in that, man. And like I said, it seems counterintuitive, but it's the best way to live. You know what I'm saying? But you have to learn these lessons. That's what the journey is all about. And the maturity that comes with everything, all the struggles of the journey, man.
That business owner that, you know, you might work for that makes you sit in your office and kill yourself and you don't feel financially secure and financially accepted in that office and you feel like you're undervalued. I never want anyone in my staff to ever feel that way. If you're working hard, you never have to, no one's ever asked for a raise here, you know, and, you know, I like to promote positive energy, open door policy, a loving and caring atmosphere. And those are the things I learned from working for others. I've only had 2 other jobs in my life, but they sucked. And I don't ever want to have an atmosphere like that. So that's been a lot of work as well.
Heck yeah. No, I love it, man. Good stuff. Proudest moment in this game?
My proudest moment in this game was probably my stepson, who's 23 years old. He said to me, you know, he was through the beginning, grueling ages of this where I neglected his mom and we got a divorce, but I'm still very close with Jordan. And proudest moment was I apologized to him. I said, you know, Jordan, I'm sorry all those years I drove around with you in the car and I just neglected you in the car and this, that, and the other. He goes, what are you talking about? From the age of 8, I started listening. And I learned so much from being on those car rides, from how smart you got in business. Now he has his own very successful business and he contributed quite a bit of that to me feeling like I was neglecting him. So I'd probably say that was my proudest moment.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. He stopped making me feel like shit too.
Yeah. For sure. No, but that's good on him, man. Man, life shows us so many things, and it's just how we take those things, man. And that's what makes all the
yeah.
That's the
exactly.
Game.
Yeah.
And then finally, you know, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, man, what's it all for? You know, how would you like to be remembered?
So, I'm not shy of this. I'm very super financially stable. I've been very, very successful. Most people want to leave financial wealth to their kids. I'd like to be on my deathbed, you know, with some of my boys around me, knowing that I contributed to the ripple effect of their families being in a good financial position for a very long time. Yeah. That's why I kind of get up and crush myself. I focus on my staff's money. I don't focus on my money ever. I don't have to come here anymore. I love coming here. I love my staff. And from a business standpoint, what the end game is to make sure that there's enough success there. So it's not just like, all right, Sid took care of his family. Sid took care of his family and some, and that's a big goal of mine.
Yeah, bro. We're so alike in that, man. I feel them on my back. Like, it's like, I need to create more opportunity, better opportunity. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my people win, man. Whether it's my students, 400 some odd students that I got to get in this game, get successful. And when they come back to me and they're like, thank you. You changed my life. Like, there's nothing.
No, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like, my staff is made up of like dudes that were like me coming up and no one believed in them. And like, my whole thing is that like, listen, it's no secret. I don't have to get up and come to work every day, but you're putting in the effort. So do I. And my biggest takeaway from that, my biggest advice is always focus on increasing your staff's bandwidth. Find ways to make their job easier so you can minimize the amount of additional personalities that you have to bring into your life. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of personalities here. One new personality can ruin the entire picture. So my goal is always focusing on, maybe if I do this, this person frees up 10% of their bandwidth. It can be more effective here. I don't have to hire that next person. And that person also gets to make more money. They've given me the best year. These guys are in their 30s and 40s. Mm-hmm. They're making very good money. They've given me the best years of their life. And that's the reason for my success. I can't turn my back on them. I have to figure out ways to get more effective for them and help them along the journey. And, sounds cheesy, dude, but you can ask any of my staff. It's the fucking truth, bro. So
no, I've seen it, bro. I've seen it. Good stuff. Yeah. Yo, super awesome interview, Sidney. You're the man. I have one last question I want to ask everyone. A habit you think everyone should look at that'll make them a better person, better protector.
What habit?
Yeah, one habit. Anything.
Just consistency in life, being on that daily schedule, having a daily goal, a monthly goal, a weekly goal, a quarterly goal, a yearly goal, and a 10-year goal. I look at everything over 10 years. Where do I want to be then? What do I need to do in the meantime to get to that? Because quite frankly, you can't look at everything as like a weekly or a yearly goal, because if you're really involved, you're involved in the stock market, you're involved in real estate, you're growing your financial side of things, you're growing, being a better person. And you can't say, okay, I'm going to look at my stock and the real estate I own over a 1-year period of time. It's going to get me here. No. Everything's in 10-year cycles. And my business mentor taught me that, to focus on having those short-term goals, but also that long-term goal, and staying consistent, getting up, working out, getting in that cold plunge, getting in that sauna, going to work, being the first one there, being the last one to leave whenever you can, showing consistency in other aspects of your life that people don't expect. That's a big thing. So do those things every once in a while that blow people's minds. Show up to the office with like a bunch of filet mignons for your staff, like out of the blue in the middle of the day, where it's just like they're just grinding, that type of stuff is really what separates, the warriors, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I love it, man. Outstanding. Where can people find you? Find Core, all that stuff.
Core Medical, Core, Instagram handle, we'll send it all over to you. Core Medical GRP is the website, but go on Byron's Instagram or any of the other guys' Instagram. You'll find my ugly face there.
Links in bio.
Links to the bio, guys. Hey, listen, Byron, thank you so much. This means a lot to me. I'm kind of a behind the scenes type of dude, and to be able to come on this podcast means the world, bro. So thank you so much.
Yeah, man. No, it's an honor. It's an honor. You're a juggernaut, man. You're a kingpin. So I learned a whole lot during this interview. There's amazing stuff. I also had an awesome time speaking with you and Mel on your guys' podcast. You guys go check that out as well when he drops that. But I'm really honored to be connected to a crew that's doing really good things for people in an area where like it needs to be addressed, And so, dude, the honor is all mine. Thanks so much, brother. Heck yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Boom! Quick shout out to our sponsor, Staccato, my first pistol sponsor. I've been sponsored by a lot of companies, right, over the years. But when it comes to pistol, that's my bread and butter. Pistol is something I believe in. I'm a competitive shooter. We're shooting anywhere from, 800 rounds a month type of thing, right? So Staccato, being what I believe, is one of, if not the most complete handguns you can put in your hand. It's got every component that a handgun could have, should have. They're actually extremely dependable now that they've made some changes, and these things are straight up tack drivers. If you're looking for a pistol that will do as much of the work for you as a piece of hardware can, obviously you have to have the marksmanship and all the different things, but different guns perform at different levels. And I want to say that Staccato is one of, by far, for sure, take it from a competitive shooter, we're shooting the highest volumes of rounds constantly right now. Not used to have a background guy, but like right now, when you go shoot, you're going to see certain brands. Staccato is one of, if not the highest performing firearm that is both CCW, duty ready, and also competitive ready. So I want to give them a shout out. If you guys are looking for a good handgun to build your skills on top of, go check out Staccato. Much love and respect. Yo, if you enjoyed that episode and you like learning things like that, I want to encourage you to go to Protector Nation, build a profile, get in the Civilian Protector Project. This is where you can learn from these guys, live Zoom calls. You can see the full modules that you just watched, and you can become part of a community. It's the first social media platform for protectors where we can get to know each other, we can network, we can learn together. We do live Zoom calls with
different SMEs every single month. There's so much packed in there. I'm in there. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Looking forward to working together to make the world a safer place by helping good people to become more willing, capable, and prepared. Protect Your Nation, Civilian Protector Project. Let's go.